Happy Final Space Friday, everybody. It's Friday. Who would have guessed that we arrived Friday looking like us? How would we look any other way? But we arrived at Friday looking like us. Have some updates. Obviously, these tariffs are going up, not going down. I did a little research. I guess comic books and graphic novels are exempt in some way for now, right? But lumber, which is the paper, turns into paper, is tariffed, right? And like ink and all that stuff. So the pieces are tariffed, but graphic novels as a whole aren't tariffed. So that's the weird thing. I'm still researching this thing. I'm still waiting for this quote because every time I try to get a quote, it goes up, right? So I'm also exploring a few different other options out there to see, obviously when this quote comes in, if it's too much, obviously try to go someplace else, right? But I'm still kind of waiting on this quote. I wish it would just stay still for a few days so we can get a dang quote and then we can lock in. And then, in this time, I was like, okay, well, we have it seems like we have like a week. What could we add? How can we add more value to the book? It's like, I don't want to add any like physical pages right now because I just want to get a book printed, right? However, there is something cool we can do. Add an Easter egg. I know. A couple Easter eggs in this thing would be really fun, right? So I talked to Daz. I said, would you be open to adding some Easter eggs to this? He was like, absolutely. Like, what are we talking about? I said, it would be awesome to do like 10 pages. A big, splashy, Michael Bay, 10 pages, cotton candy, popcorn flick, right? Of the De Winters escaping Invictus. David De Winter and the two kids. Just go full tilt on this thing, right? But it would be digital. So you would have to, I'm going to try to hide a QR code, like to the best of my ability. And you would scan it and it would take you to these 10 pages. And you get to see like 10 additional pages somewhere in the book. Then I thought, wow, you could do that really with a lot of side characters like Fraskenhauer, like all these like little side characters that like what happened to them. So I'm thinking about adding some Easter eggs to this while I wait. Might as well, like as long as I have the QR code, I can add anything there, right? Because I can always update it later. So it doesn't affect the printing. But then it's like if you're adding all these pages, eventually you could do an extended edition. Just go full Peter Jackson, right? Like on Lord of the Rings, extended edition, make an extended edition because I do want to there's a lot of more story that I could add to this, right? There's a lot of this where it's like, I just need to get a thing done and in reality, right? Because I could spend 5 years on this, sure. Because it's like, you're just adding more and more story. But I wanted to make a thing and try to get it done as fast as humanly possible, but as good as possible too. So there is a reality that I could do an extended edition down the line with all these other pages that are going to be cool Easter eggs digitally, but then also expand on certain parts, right? But even, I can see probably like the Little Cato and Vidrexia, I can definitely expand that. That's easily expanded. What happens in that first part, there's a lot of like time jumps. I could fill in the gaps of a lot of those time jumps. And I did that strategically because who knows what happens. Maybe down the line, some network says, hey, Final Space, would you want to get back into the pool and make a series, make a few seasons? Well, I have story to tell. There's gaps, right? I can fill in the gaps. So I always did that, but it's like, there is space. There is space. I could keep jamming on this. As long as as long as this thing is in one book, I could do whatever I want. It's just one book, right? And I can do variations of that book. I mean, I even thought of like, you could go straight up, and I might do like, I don't know, a small number, a very small number, like 100 of these, because I think a lot of artists would really like this. But if you did a really cheap version of the graphic novel, but it's essentially a coloring book, right, of just the lines, like the inking, not the midnight edition style, because that feels like full pages. It's already been colored, it's already been black and white. But if you just take the straight up ink, you could theoretically this just turns into like a coloring book, like a 500-page coloring book of the graphic novel, but you can still leave the bubbles in there and stuff. And then it's just like, it's even more interactive, you know, it's pretty fun doing that. So I'm spitballing ideas, trying to think of stuff, you know. But as soon as I get this quote, we're off to the races. The file's done. Daz has been reading through it. I think he spotted one little error, fixed it. So it's, you know, just take the time, make it better, you know. So I think I am going to add an Easter egg of these 10 pages of the De Winters full Michael Bay. Love that idea. Obviously, if you guys have any ideas for some cool Easter eggs, let me know. But I'm thinking about that. I think that could be a lot of fun to add in this, and just, you know, it's just creating more value. How do we create more value out of this, right? And that doesn't raise the cost of anything, too. You know, we can always add more pages digitally, and as long as we have the QR code in there, you could actually further update the pages later on. So as you're reading it, there could be a reality that anybody that has the graphic novel, as long as I put a QR code, even in the back 3 pages, if I put a QR code in the back 3 pages, I could say, hey, guess what? There's a brand new part in the graphic novel. If you scan that thing, and then everybody has access to it, has a graphic novel. That's cool. That's cool. See, this is what we're talking about. Multimedia graphic novel, music, and the ability to update it as it's already out is cool. And then if somebody wants the whole thing, like physical pages, you could do like an extended, just go Peter Jackson with this thing. I don't even know what size. I don't even know how that would be possible to put in one novel. It'd be ludicrous, but there's definitely more story to tell. But I just kind of ran out of time. I think there's a point where it's like I gotta make something, you know. So I have a book. I think it's great. Plays like a movie, you know. Feels good. So those are my ideas. That's what I'm thinking about. Pursuing, trying to come up with something. But I'm liking this. I'm liking where my head is at. I just gotta get this quote. All right, guys. That's it. That's all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.